Hey guys, what's up? I'm going to be talking about 10 things I dislike about my 2002 C5 Z06 Corvette. Now when I say dislike, I don't want to say hate, because I know people make those videos like, oh, 10 things I hate about my Lamborghini or 10 things I hate about my GTR. I don't hate this car. I love this car, and that's why I bought it, because I really enjoyed driving something like this. But there are those little nitpick things, I guess you could call them, that I do not like about this car. So let's get into the video. Alright, so the first thing that I dislike about the car is that the fact that these tires wear out so fast. On average, you'll see around 5,000 to 10,000 miles, depending on how hard and aggressive you drive. I, to be honest, don't really drive this car very aggressively, but they tend to wear pretty damn quick, and that's just because of the style of the car. It's a rear-wheel drive car with a crap ton of torque, so that's what tends to happen. But then again, tires are pretty expensive. I'm gonna pick up the camera because I'm tired of holding it on the ground. But tires are pretty damn expensive on this car. They're around $220 a piece for the Continentals, $250, I may be wrong, and $300 or $400 if you want the Michelins. Alright, so the next thing that I dislike about this car is the fact that it is loud, and I do enjoy the sound of it. It has a very nice tone, but sometimes when you're trying to go to a dinner, you're trying to roll in late at night into the neighborhood, or you're going through a tunnel, it does get a little annoying if you're trying to be safe and trying to stay under the radar, because cops will always hear you and all of your friends will assume you're driving a million miles an hour just because you have bald eagles rushing out of those tailpipes. So that is one thing to take into consideration when driving something built in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to be talking about is how darn low this car sits on the ground. It is a sports car, it handles very well, it goes around corners like a dream, but in those cases when you happen to run into speed bumps or big dips in the road, it can get a little treacherous. There are some speed bumps that I actually can't even go over. I'll have to back up, cause a little bit of traffic congestion in a parking lot or something like that. I found my way around school so I can park in a good spot that I don't have to go over any speed bumps, but it always is a pain when you have to maneuver out of your way to get around something like a simple speed bump. And what I mean by this car sits so low, it has a rubber / plastic kind of diffuser in the front that helps with cooling and airflow, and that only sits 3.5 fingers off the ground, and that's fine that it scrapes on things. And the bumper, to be honest, have really never hit it because that sits a lot higher off the ground than the rubber diffuser does. But the problem is the fact that it's a long wheelbase car, and the actual bottom of the car sits so darn low to the ground, and there is the side of an iPhone 6s Plus, and it's got an iPhone 6s Plus on its side, plus maybe like half an inch or an inch. So, yeah, half an inch. So, it does sit very low to the ground. Alright, next thing I want to talk about is the front wheels and how they build up with brake dust in a very short amount of time. Now, this is to be expected depending on your driving style and how you drive, but it is a little excessive when, as you can see, I get black spot on my finger after driving 3 or 4 days after cleaning and scrubbing the heck out of these wheels. So to be honest, I'm probably just going to paint them black so you don't see brake dust ever again. I'm still going to regularly clean the car, but it's annoying when I clean it and just a few days later it gets dirty. Alright, the fifth thing I want to talk about is how getting in and out of this car can sometimes be a pain, as I described how low it is. And to be honest, it's not terribly bad because I'm a younger candidate for driving something like this, but getting in it can always be a little bit of a pain. Getting out of it is, to be honest, just as hard. You gotta kind of throw your leg over the side, and then you don't want to mess up this seat bolster here that already has a little bit of wear and tear. So what you kind of want to do is put your hand here and just prop yourself up with this one foot and your hand there, and then that'll allow you to get out of the car smoothly. The sixth thing that I dislike about this car is that when I go to open the door and the window is up like so and I'm getting out of the car, you can see that the window bows in. So if you're, say for instance, parked next to somebody who parked pretty close to you and you can only open the door this much, you're opening the door 3.5 to 4 feet maybe, but the window curves in, so then you only have about 2 feet or 2.5 feet. So it gives you less room to manage getting out of the car, which just makes you look like an idiot. But it's whatever. So park away from everybody. The back end of this car seems to get very dirty very quickly. You probably can't tell on camera, it probably looks pretty clean on camera, but if I do a line like this, you can probably tell real quick and see that my finger turned dark. The car tends to get pretty darn dirty really quickly on the back, and that's just because the airflow and how the air flows up from the tires and throws the dirt and brake dust back up onto the bumper. So that's one thing that annoys me. Like, to be honest, like right around the corner on the side fender or the bumper and the trunk, all of that stuff is bone clean how you cleaned it a week ago. But then again, just on the back bumper, it gets real dirty real quick. Alright, so the next thing that I dislike about the car is the fact that the mirrors are not automatic folding. And this sounds like a first world problem, and I know it is, but whenever I go to park the car, I always find myself folding them in just so that I can get that extra protection for when I park next to somebody who flies their door open. Maybe it won't hit it, maybe it still will, but that always seems to be like a pain when I have to go around to the other side of the car and fold that one in as well. Another thing that I dislike about the car is the fact that whenever I go to put tire shine on it, to be honest, I don't put tire shine on anymore, but if you ever want to put tire shine on the car, make sure you put something that's non-oil based, because the tire sits so darn even with the fender and the rest of the side of the car, it actually throws little black marks all along the side of the car and all down near the left and front right quarter panels, and it just gets annoying. It looks awful. Right after you clean a car, it gets the whole side dirty. So I wouldn't recommend putting tire shine on the tires unless you want to deal with that cleanup, or you have some kind of oil-based stuff. On the back of the car, it's fine because I have the fender guards, and those can be found at Corvette mods. I think they're like $60 or $70. They're like the Z06 style. I think they make the car give it that extra little look. I think it looks nice. The last thing I want to talk about is the fact that this center console always seems to not want to open all the way. Like, it, as you can tell, it doesn't want to open all the way. You kind of have to like pull it in and then it'll open all the way, which gets a little bit annoying. I know it sounds like a problem. Also, it's not very deep. It's probably about, I don't know, 1.5 to 2 inches deep, which is just annoying because you can't keep anything in there, to be honest, except for a pack of gum and any other basic things. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video on 10 things that I dislike about the car. I'll make another video of 10 things that I really enjoy about the car and pros of why you should purchase something like this. I mean, the performance can't be beat for the money, but that's another video. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave your comments, like, share, subscribe, do all those YouTube things, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.